Hey guys, I'm going to show you how to cook fajitas and fajita chicken and rice today. So first thing I'm going to do is get out a non-stick pan like this to cook the rice in. If you don't have non-stick, that's fine. Just make sure that you coat your pan really well with oh, it's smoking, with butter or some like Pam spray or something like that. Get your stove on high because we want to bring the water to a boil. So I have a family of 4, and I make enough rice for us by using 1 cup of rice, and then you're going to put 3 cups of water. Now, if you have a larger family, you would just double it. You would put 6 cups of water and 2 cups of rice. So I'm just going to put cold water in here. I'm going to put 3 cups of water. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So, while that is coming to a boil, I'm going to go ahead and start putting in my seasonings. Now, I just put a little bit of salt, not much at all. I don't like a lot of salt, but you put however much you like. A little bit of olive oil. If you don't have olive oil, if you've got some vegetable oil, that's fine. Just put a little bit. And then I put, I'm gonna set this camera down, guys, just for a second so that I can open up the top on here. Let's see, can you see from there what I'm doing? Okay, so I've got garlic powder. I'm gonna just put a little bit of garlic powder in there. And then onion powder. I'm going to put a little dash of that in there. So we got onion powder, garlic powder, a little bit of salt. Now I'm going to put some black pepper. And if you have a little bit of cumin powder, put some of that in there. If you don't worry about it. And then what else? I use these bouillon cubes. Now I don't like a lot of seasoning or a lot of salt, so I only use half. They're about this size, and I'm gonna just crumble up half of one in here. If you like yours more seasoned, then go ahead and put a whole one. But I just crumble up a half. And then I'm just going to let that water come to a boil. All right, so I got all my seasonings in there. And I'm going to let this water come to a boil. And then once the water comes to a boil, I'm going to, where'd I put my lid? Okay. I'm going to put my lid on there and let that come to a boil. And then I use basmati rice. You can get this at Walmart, guys. Walmart, Kroger, probably Aldi, or whatever grocery store that you go to, you should be able to find this, and it's really inexpensive, and it's a really good rice. So I'm going to measure out 1 cup, a cup to a cup and a half. This open with one hand. So once your water starts to boil, you've got it up on high, guys, on the stove on high. It's about ready. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out. I'm going to go ahead and take this lid off, and I'm going to measure out 1 cup of rice and pour that in there. And then I like to do a little bit over. So just going to give that a good stir. then we're going to put the lid back on it. And then we're going to turn it down to medium heat and set the timer for 20 minutes. Now, I would start checking it around 15 minutes to make sure that, I'm going to give it one good stir. Because once that lid goes on there, you do not want to open it. You don't want to open it. You don't want to touch it with a spoon or a fork. It will make your rice mushy, okay? So we're going to leave that alone, at least for 15 minutes. We're not going to touch it. And then in 15 minutes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the lid off and look at it and just take the handles of the pan and shake it and see if the rice is moving. If it's not moving, that means that it's sticking to the bottom. But if it does move around in the pan, then you're good to go. And if it is sticking, then we'll add just maybe a little bit of water, or I could take a fork and just kind of see how it is, how bad it's stuck at the bottom. But we'll see about that when we get to that point. Okay, so over here I've got my pan out for my fajita chicken, and I've got this pan warmed up. I've got it on medium-high heat. I'm going to go ahead and put some olive oil in here. Again, if you don't have olive oil, you use whatever oil that you have. And it's starting to smoke. It's hot. It's ready. Okay, so I'm just going to cut open this pack of fajita chicken, and then I'm going to put this in here. This fajita chicken is already seasoned. I buy it pre-seasoned at the market, but if you can't find yours pre-seasoned, oh man, if you can't find yours at your store pre-seasoned, simmer down for a minute. It's kind of loud. Okay, so if you can't find yours at your store already cut up and pre-seasoned, don't worry. You can just buy you some chicken breast, or you can get the regular chicken tenders. You buy the breast and just cut it up into tenders. Add you some green bell pepper, some red bell pepper, some chopped onion, and then you're going to start adding your seasoning. It just gives it a good sizzle when you first put it in, because it's hot. The skillet is hot, but it'll settle down in just a second. Okay. So now this is settled down a little bit. What we're going to do is start adding our seasonings. And it's pretty much the same thing that you put in the rice, except I don't usually add extra salt. I put onion powder. Oh, my smoke alarm's going on. Let me turn on this fan. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of this onion powder. And then I'm going to add a little bit of this garlic powder. And then I'm going to put some pepper, a little bit of black pepper. Okay. And then I'm going to give this a good stir. If you had mushrooms, you could put mushrooms in here too. That would be really good. Okay, now I'm gonna get a lid and cover that. I can find my lid. Let's see. Uh-oh. I was looking for my glass lid, but I couldn't find it, so let me check and see if I can find it. Okay, so I'm just going to let these cook, and then I will be back to check in on you in just a minute. Okay, so the chicken is still cooking. Just gonna give it a quick stir. That's good. Don't need to do anything to that. Alright, so I'm just gonna put the lid back on it. And then the rice has about 9 more minutes, so it's about halfway done. And you can see that it's still got water in it, so it's not dry, so it's good. Now, what I'm gonna do is I have black beans that I picked up, and I've got me a little saucepan back here on high, so I'm just going to put this so you guys can see. I'm just going to pour these beans into this pan. Not gonna drain them, just gonna pour all of it in there. If I can get the can open. Okay. And basically these are already cooked. All you need to do is warm them up. So I am going to put some garlic powder. You can be as generous with that as you want. I'm going to put some black pepper, and I'm going to put some butter. Get my butter out. And basically, after I put my seasonings in, I'm just going to give that a quick stir. And then I'm going to let that cook until that liquid just absorbs and the beans are pretty much dry. So it won't take long, but that's the beans. So I've got the beans going, I've got the chicken cooking, I've got the rice going, and then my oven's already cooled down. I have my cake done here. And I'm going to see if my daughter wants to put icing on it. If she does, I have this Domino Confectioner sugar that we could put icing. So, and then I went and I've got some sour cream to go on the fajitas. I've got some shredded cheese. I'm going to get out my tortillas. Okay, I got my cheddar jack shredded cheese. And then I have salsa. I have some chunky salsa. And I also have some tortilla chips if you want to kind of do like some salsa and dip, but I'm just going to eat mine with beans and rice. So on my fajita, I'm gonna have salsa, cheese, sour cream, and I might put some lettuce, I'm not sure. Okay. So I'm just gonna keep checking. Got about 5 minutes left on this rice. So we just wanna take it. You can see that the water is absorbed. So we just wanna, I'm gonna set this camera down so I can, you guys can see. I'm going to give this a quick shake. That way I can see that it is not sticking to the bottom. And that way you don't have to touch it with a fork or a spoon and get it mushy. So it is shaking. It's moving around, you see? It's not sticking, so it's good to continue to cook. Now if it was sticking, you could put a little bit of water in it, like I said earlier. And then just take your fork lightly in there and kind of stir it around. Okay, the beans are boiling. They're good to go. And then let's check on this chicken. Looking good. I like mine kind of well done. So basically what you do is just keep cooking it until that oil in there has all absorbed and the chicken will start browning like that. And then those onions and peppers in there are going to start caramelize and they're going to be good and sweet and really delicious. Okay. So I'm just going to cover that back up. Okay, so I've got another skillet back here going with some butter that I have melted, and then I'm going to take my tortilla and just put it in there. I like my tortillas to be warm and kind of golden brown, but if you like yours plain, that's fine. You could go ahead and just start putting your, here's the chicken that's done. You could go ahead and start putting your fajitas in your let me turn this up. You could go ahead and be putting your fajitas in your tortilla, but I like mine kind of brown. So just gonna brown it on both sides. And then my rice over here is done. My beans are done. You see my beans are dry. And then the rice is done. So we're almost good to go. Just gonna wait on this to get done and then I'm gonna plate the food up. I'm just gonna do a couple of those for me. My kids aren't gonna eat it and my husband is eating something else, I think. So I'm just gonna do 2 of these for me. Cover that so it'll get kind of toasty. Check on the chicken. So it is good and done and all the oil is gone and absorbed out of it. Let's check on this. See how it's getting toasty, brown. That's the way I like it. Alright, this little guy is almost done. I'll go ahead and do the other one and then I'll check back in. Okay guys, so I am ready to go ahead and plate the rice and chicken. I'm going to fix my kids' plates first. So they're going to eat theirs differently. They're not going to do theirs like an actual fajita. They like their rice on the side. And then I just take them, and they don't like onions our peppers. So I just take them a few pieces of chicken and just plate that up on the side for them, and then they are good to go. They like me to add, they like a little more salt. I don't really care for salt. So I'm gonna put a little bit of salt on theirs, and then that doesn't look very good, I know, because that's for kids, but anyways, we got picky eaters. Sometimes you just gotta go with it. Now, if you don't have a picky eater, then you put your rice down, and then you take this fajita chicken with the peppers and onions, and you lay it right there on the chicken, on the rice, and then you would have you a little salad on the side. But since I'm doing mine as a fajita, I'm not going to have the salad on the side. So I browned my tortillas, browned 2 of them. So what I'm going to do is kind of fold it in half. Fold both of these bad boys in half. And I'm going to, Sarah, can you come and hold this for me, please? I'm going to get my daughter to hold the camera. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my fajita, and I'm just going to lay some of this chicken with the bell peppers and onions and everything on there. And then I'm going to take some shredded cheese. Put that on there. I'm going to take some, oh, if I can get this open. Oh man, that was hard to open. Okay, I'm gonna take me some salsa and put on there. Okay, and then I'm gonna get some of this sour cream. Sorry. Give me a spoon. Stir this up. I just bought it. Okay. A little bit of sour cream, a little dollop. Do a little dollop of Daisy. Y'all ever heard that commercial? For the sour cream. Okay. I'm gonna fold that in half. I'm gonna save this one for later. We'll see how this goes with one. So I've got my little fajita quesadilla right there, and then I'm gonna get me another spoon, and I'm going to come in here with my beans. Are you getting this, Sarah?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, got my beans, and then I'm gonna come over here with my rice, and there you go, guys. So that is my dinner for tonight, and I'll come back in and check on you guys later with the cake.